Too early. Too early again. They changed the way the shield works, so it's not entirely... It shouldn't have a cooldown, damn it. If the creators of this game want you to use this shield, you need to be able to fire that shield off every time you push the button. You should be able to... Look, it's got it. It has a cooldown. Hey, Levi. How's it going? Just complaining about some stuff about the game. I understand it's early access. But still, at the same time, there's some stuff that they need to fix. Prime example. Right there. So he lunged at me and I pushed triangle, which is the button for the shield. But because I had already pushed triangle, yeah, it has a very, very brief cooldown. I guess maybe that's because if you could spam it, like you can the sword, you know? I don't know, it's too... Did you see? That guy jumped into me. I saw it come and I pushed the triangle to get the shield up, right? The input delay between the controller and him doing the shield thing actually, like, made him... Yeah, I don't understand it. My guy threw his shield up after he, like, got pushed... Like, got pushed all the way back a little bit because the guy jumped into my face, you know? Then after the damage animation and everything, then my guy, like, did the little shield parry animation. I pushed it, like, when the guy was, like, coming at me. But because, like, that short delay... Because you can hold it now. But you can't fire it off again. So if you push it once, that's all you get. This is as fast as you can do it. So if you miss, you get blown away if you miss. Which is a little weird because you can have it to where there's like 10 guys attacking from 2 different directions around you. I don't understand it. Like, they want you to use the shield as part of, like, the game mechanic, but yet it sucks. Like, it's way better to just go purely offensive than to try and be defensive with the shield. It's silly. I hope that by the time this thing becomes... See? Right there. I'm trying to think of what is causing that. Like, what coding could be done that makes that better. Because that guy was jumping into me. I pushed the triangle button, and he never put up the shield. Exactly. So I think what's happening is I'm like trying to hit the enemy with the graphic of the shield. So like that barrel there in the background, I'm trying to hit it with the actual shield itself, like the animation, but you can see there's that wave that propagates out from in front of him. I think that's actually like where the shield's like hitbox is. So what's happening is when I fire off the shield, the guy's already past where that wave is at, so I'm firing it off late. Because I'm trying to hit the guy like right when he gets to me, like with the actual shield, but by then he's already hit me. So you have to like fire it off a little early. Like before he does his attack animation almost. And if you get hit, it cancels everything. And again, see right there, look. Two of those balls. You can't block both of them. This stream is going to be to show off how bad the shields really are. I should do a double shield build and show you what that looks like. I can't stand the bows, though. No. They want you to use the roll. I mean, look how easily you can avoid them. They don't want you to use the shield. It's weird that it's in the game, but yet it's not a valid thing. It used to be, I thought that, CS absorbs extra damage when held up, creates a force field for 3 seconds when you parry, and then if you read that above there, it says, Force Shield 1, absorb 85% damage, inflict 20 damage. It makes it sound like by having the shield... Yeah, the bow seems to be pretty powerful. I just don't like it. I don't know. It can run out of ammo, so, like, you can get yourself into a situation where you can't damage the enemy because you have no ammo. Which I get, you know, that's a realism thing, but at the same time, like, how are you gonna have a system set up that intentionally makes it to where you can't progress? So, that's a complaint. Anyway, that absorb damage, that has nothing to do with having the shield. That is what you get from using the shield. So absorb 85% damage, that's if you hold it up and block something with it. You absorb 85% of the damage. Just by having the shield doesn't do anything for you. Does nothing. So they want you to use the shield to gain any kind of benefit from it. Yes, yes. They have a post recently that basically says that they are nowhere close to being finished. Which is good to know because, obviously, you know, if this game was like, maybe say like 6 months from being completed, that mechanic right there is nowhere close to ready. That's just a personal opinion, but I guarantee you that it's shared with a lot of other people that play this game. The fact that you can't move when it's up is a little wonky too. I mean, you can't like, you know, fire the bow and move at the same time, but the shield is a defensive thing. I mean, I could understand not being able to like use the bow and move at the same time because, you know, you'd be very inaccurate. Yeah, it's more of a rant. It's higher expectations than... I want to play the game with a shield. I can't. Because the shield is not perfected. So it's taking, like, how I want to play the game away from me, and it's making me grumpy. When you land a parry, it's pretty satisfying. I mean, it's got that going. It's just in the classic combat environment where you got enemies coming from 2 different directions and guys throwing stuff from the tier above you that you can't even technically do anything to. That's another thing that bothers me. Those bomb guys can see you. I'm not getting grumpy. It's early access. They, you know, I'm just lucky that the game has finished this, but that right there is what I was talking about. That guy could see me. And he could shoot me, but I couldn't do anything to him. Look at that. It wouldn't hit the little rune there. Well, at least you can roll and fire the shield out at the same time. That's kind of neat. Look at that. You can cancel the roll and fire the shield off. That's good. They did. So one of my complaints in a previous stream was that when you jump, you can't attack in the air. Well, that's a thing now. Like, you can even throw the shield in the air now. It kind of makes you go straight to the ground, but again, that's one of those things that's probably going to get addressed as the game progresses. This game's got a lot of promise, so that's cool. Again, trying to hit the guy with the actual graphic of the shield, and it just doesn't work. You need to hit him in front of you. So what's happening is the model of the enemy is hitting the model of my guy. I don't know. Why are you up? Can you not sleep? You gotta go put on your costume and go pretend that you care about school. Not that education's not important, but school, like the public stuff that we had to deal with as kids, that's not important. Learning and education is, so I'd say college, maybe. I guess I'll stick with the bow for now. Well, sleep is important, but we have a society that is very much into, like, cell phones and TV screens and whatnot that all produce basically the same wavelength as daylight, so you never get tired. I don't even want to talk about it, really. The new school, I don't know anything about the new, whatever new system it is, but I just remember what we had to deal with through the whole, like, you know, public school, if you will. And it's a total, like, it's just a sham, like, to make people feel comfortable. And I've already said it once before, but I'll say it again. It's a glorified daycare to ensure that your parents can go to work. Because in the society we live in, you're expected to work. Like, work for a living, work to pay your bills. So you can't have kids and do that at the same time, because, you know, kids will die if they don't have a caregiver. Especially when they're really young, you know? So we decided that getting an education was important, and what better way to, like, combine, you know, two birds with one stone by combining public school with daycare, you know? I mean, it makes sense to me. They even treat the kids like they're in daycare. I mean, you mean to tell me that if you had to go to the bathroom, you can't just get up and go to the bathroom? No, you gotta get a hall pass, get permission. Why? Because kids are conniving, and they'll use every chance they can get to get out of the class. So they, instead of, you know, giving kids responsibility and trying to help them mature and understand that that's the wrong... Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then all this emphasis on how important your high school diploma is. You know, in the last, like, 5 job interview type scenarios that I found myself in, at no point did anybody ever ask me anything about high school. What classes did I take? You know, what path did I take in my high school? Like, which classes did I take to learn? No, it just, all they said is, did you finish high school? Okay, that was it. That's all they cared about, was that you finished. They didn't care what my GPA was or anything like that. Like, I think in college was the only time that it mattered, and it wasn't even for what you would think it was important for, like placing you in the right level of class. Had nothing to do with that. At least the college I went to. The college I went to, they were asking about, they wanted to know, like, GPA and stuff for, like, financial stuff, because, like, the GI Bill didn't quite cover, like, everything, because it was a private school, and their tuition was, like, you know, 25 or 50% more than what the GI Bill would cover. So, like, I had to get extra funding from other places, and apparently GPA in your high school transcript could influence on, like, where that funding could come from, or something weird. So it had nothing to do with, like, placing me in a class for my educational level. It was more of a stat for, like, trying to, like, make funding work for the school's benefit. Because they're like, oh, we can get this amount of money, and you know, whatever the reason was for it. They didn't explain it to me, which is why I'm in such a situation as I am right now with my student loans being so huge. It's like almost $100 grand or something like that. It's like $80-something thousand that I owe. And I had the GI Bill, 100% tuition, and I still owe 80 grand. Yeah. Online. There you go. Just do it online. You know, because you gotta... all the studying and all that stuff is, like, somewhat on your own, you know? So at that point, it becomes really about you, the student, and how you learn and whatnot. You have a little guidance from a teacher or whatever, which, you know, that's a good thing, but... supposed to be playing a game, not ranting about school. But I was watching George Carlin earlier, so I'm kind of in a mood. I'm gonna try the, I'm gonna try a melee and see how that goes. That's good. Online classes were definitely better for my situation. Especially when you know, as far as college goes. Because, you know, you're trying to... I want to... You gotta... Yep, and you can't... See, when it works really nice. I like it, but... Again, it's... I feel like it's too sensitive. The timing is way too sensitive. I don't know how they would fix it either. Is if they make it too easy to block, then the game loses its challenge. So I don't know. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it's not you know, blatantly missed that guy. But the shield gives me that little force barrier, so I didn't take any damage from it. I want a stun shield. Or the force shield. I think I'll stick with the force shield and just money that one. I wanted to go through the floor there, but picked the wrong spot. Does this lead to an exit? I think so. Oh, no. I don't have another secondary, so that one's a... And they got it so you can't cheese it. You can't, because you can hold the shield out now, see? But you can't parry that way. You can block, but, like, if you take a hit, it, like, there's, like, some sort of numerical value that, like, the shield eventually, you'll lose your guard. You'll have to put the shield down eventually after you take so many hits. I have no solution to that problem, so I'm just complaining to hear myself complain, I guess. So let's see. Got that chest. There's a bomb right there. Did I already go up there? I can't remember. Is that a spot I couldn't get to? Oh, I missed something. Got a heavy grenade. Give me that money. Did you see that I got a Dragon Ball Super episode that I reacted to on there? Let's see, we need to get... No, don't definitely want the sewers. I need to... Yeah, it looks like I explored everywhere. Okay. Yeah. It's one of those unfortunate things. Live in a world where you just have to pretend so that, you know, you fit in or whatever, because kids have gotten told by their parents for fucking decades now that you're just supposed to do what you're supposed to, you know, like just fit in or whatever. Instead of being yourself, you're supposed to be like all the other people around you. Well, that's pretty much crap. Be yourself. Don't be like everybody else. That's all I can say. Alrighty. I don't know how to make it better. I'm trying to think of how to make it better. Yep. Alrighty, I see you. But you're absolutely right. How dare you be like you and not like everybody else. But realistically, if you don't kill him by that third hit, you need to roll away. Or if you don't see him get stunned somewhere in between the three, you need to roll away. Doesn't have enough knockdown power is what I'm seeing here. I mean, it gets stunned pretty frequently, but there needs to be some sort of stat that you can adjust that increases the likelihood of that stun to happen, because the monsters definitely have the advantage as far as numbers and power. You gotta fight against stupid train dummy things that just... I feel like the parry animation got faster, and that's what's throwing me off. The cooldown on that is ridiculous. The cooldown should be the actual, like, animation of the swing. Because even with the animation, you could still only, you know, throw the shield once every second or so. Why is there that cooldown there? It's like you can only do it once every 3 seconds or so. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't like it. Well, it just explains why a vast majority of the people that you see streaming this game do not play with the shield. The only reason they have a shield is because, you know, you get a starting selection of the boot, which is dumb. I don't know why you would want to use that. You know, you get your bow or a melee, and then you always have that shield. So you're kind of stuck picking the swords, the ranged weapon, or the, you know, shield. Well, and the shield. I guess you could pick up the shield and the ranged weapon, or the sword and the ranged weapon. That might work out. Maybe I'll do that next time. So we'll go with probably brutality, I guess. Yep. So definitely not a good setup here. This is so dumb. I might have to play a different game, you guys. This game is so hard. Go. I guess I need to be using that. Maybe that would help, huh? probably would help. So my guess here is that it's just because the game's not complete, so there's the balancing and that kind of stuff probably has not really been addressed. I think they're still working on features and mechanics and stuff, so little things like whether the shield is too slow or whatever, I think that stuff's just totally back burner. Sometimes the game makes you feel really, really powerful, and other times you feel like you couldn't beat anything. So the dual blades is bad. Like, so bad. They don't hit hard enough the first two. And the wind-up for the third hit is, you're stuck in that animation and you can't do anything about it. So, like, you literally basically just standing there to get hit. So I'm not going to use those. Blood Sword this combo, last time I used this I did pretty good. Played a lot more defensively, like running away from enemies a lot more. I like the fact that this thing affects, like, multiple enemies. Damn it. So what happens is, like, because you can hold it up now, sometimes if you don't tap it, like to parry, sometimes you accidentally push and hold it for a little too long. So instead of parrying, you'll hold it up and then put it down. So I, again, have no idea if there's a way that could be made better. Because it definitely seems like you would want to be able to put the shield up, but at the same time, you need to be able to, like, I don't know. Should be able to bring it up like that, and, like, let it go and quickly push it again. Well, I guess you can. So there's no cooldown for here. The cooldown is that little wave right there. That's why you can't do it again, because that has to finish playing. But you can hold it and let it go and then do it right away. Yeah, you can do it instantly. As soon as you let the shield down, you can fire it off. So we're gonna do hold it up, fire it off, and then hold it up again, and we'll look at the delay. So here we go. Did you see? There was like a noticeable delay from the parry. So if there was two guys shooting at you, there's no way you could parry that, turn around and parry that one. So what you'd have to do is parry, roll. Oh no, because there's a you can't roll and parry. Or you can't parry then roll. Because that animation has to finish playing. So that, I think you should be able to cancel the animation by moving or rolling. So if the Motion Twin guys are watching, maybe that could be a little, something that could be addressed. If you want people to use the shield, you gotta make the shield like a valuable item. And right now it's too wonky to use. Just too finicky. Or just stand on it, why don't you? Yeah, it's far too slow. Way too slow. So we got a bear trap there, huh? Not sure what that was about. Sometimes he just doesn't throw the shield. I wonder what is causing that. We can go up. Sometimes you just get lucky and you can land the parry like that. Most of the time, though, it's no. Oops, I gotta salvage that. Here. I really want to have the shield be really good because I like using the shield in most of the games I play. And now that I think about it, I actually realized something. I found Skyrim to be incredibly difficult. So difficult that I had no fun playing it. And I know why. Because I almost exclusively tried to sword and board it, and I don't think the shield, that playstyle was fleshed out enough to be like a viable way to play. That I just probably didn't give it enough time, you know, like try enough, get good, I guess, if you will. Probably realistically what is going to happen is I'm just stuck playing EverQuest because, like, I'm not good at new games. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I'm terrible at this game, but maybe doing an early access game to think you're good at is just a bad way of going. Ooh, an impaler. Okay, OC Beefy. I'm thinking my last statement probably was the case. I just didn't give it enough time. But I tried to sword and board, like, from the very, very, very beginning. Like, as soon as you control the character, and, like, that, there's, like, a cave troll or something that you run into somewhere in the beginning of the game, and that playstyle, like, I could not get past that guy. I just kept dying over and over and over, so I just lost interest in it. And then because of my personality, that difficulty became, like, etched in my mind, so Skyrim became this, like, super hard game, and I just never picked it up again. So maybe that might be a game I should go back and look at again, maybe. I like the Impaler. I really do. It does extra damage on a bleeding target, too. I think I'm gonna give that a try. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I'd have to relearn the whole thing. I only played it like maybe 20 hours total in the years that I've had the game. But like I said, though, that difficulty got etched into my mind, so like I just associated Skyrim with being too hard to be fun, which is what this game turns into after a little while. Like a couple hours of playing this game, the just constantly dying, just like you just end up wanting to play something else because you just die so frequently. I think I have everything. So we can go to the next area here. Okay. Yeah, my boy plays it, or played it. He seemed to be pretty good at it, so... Just I have this very strong memory of it being a different game, so... I just never went back and re-looked at it. My computer then was getting old, too, so, like, you know, it was starting to have some, a little bit of performance issues and whatnot. Okay. So it seems like there was a way of playing that way. Again, this... Ah, I picked the wrong one. Oh well. Again, it's more of a... This isn't a finished game, whereas that is, so, you know. But I like shields. I like play sword and board, so... I even try to force it in this game, and maybe that's where a lot of my, difficulty with this game comes from. Because, like, you know, it's not a secret that the shield idea is not quite ready. Because it's significantly different than the way it worked when the game first came out. Different in a good way. It's definitely better than it was. It didn't get worse, which is a good thing, but... I just gotta remember to use the, my secondary items a lot more frequently. Also need to turn on some music. The one thing I don't like about the way the game runs is I do not have access to my other screen. Dadgummit, stop. So what is it? Because the game is in, what, full screen? So here's another... Oh, there it is. It does tell you. It's just not very noticeable, because in most games... Would you agree that, like, when there's multiple pages to, like, a menu screen, isn't it most of the time, like, the tabs are kind of at the top of the screen? Because this game, they have, it's R2 on the side of the screen there with L2 on the other side of the screen. I only just now realized that because I was just about to say that there's no indication that you can go, like, over a page, but there is. It's just very faint off to the sides there. There's no, like, tabs at the top that tell you that there's other pages to look at. You just have those little floating R2, L2s off to the side there, so that's a little weird. Yeah, like, weird, like, to restart the game and stuff, you have to, like, I don't like that. Usually when you pause the game, you expect, you know, a pause, whereas this, it's not a, it's like your inventory screen that you have to then navigate to your pause menu. That's weird. But I wanted to check the, full screen window. That full screen windowed mode is what is causing me issues right now. Oh, it's a little bit of a hassle, but oh well. I like this game because it's very similar to, like, Castlevania. That's one of my favorite games. I like this one because it's got a good range to it. So you don't have to be right up on them to hit them. These guys hit so fast, they're very hard to block with a shield. So it's almost better just to do the roll. They do like a little bit of a fake out on you. Wonder if that's by design too. So this, the effect of this weapon, if they're against a wall, it guarantees a critical strike against them. But while you're scoring the critical strikes, it drops the frame rate down to like 2. While the crits are popping on the screen and you're like stabbing them, you get like 2 frames a second. So I don't know if that's maybe my problem, or if that's actually like in the game. Yeah, see, look, the frame rate tanks when they're pinned against the wall. That's weird. Yeah, exactly, OC Beefy. That's exactly right, man. It's like you can play it that way, but because of the, you know, just general game mechanics, the game mechanics aren't necessarily designed with that play style. Because I'm pretty sure that the roll was in the game, like, as a main kind of... I think roll and stuff in Dark Souls is the same thing, too. Like, that's a staple feature of the game is the dodge, not so much a parry. So I wonder if because it's a secondary type of, you know, mechanic, that it's just not polished enough. That, and they're also trying to balance the strength, because if you make the parry too powerful, then it, you know, it makes the game too easy. But I don't feel like the rolling is any less, you know, useful than the parry. And at least with the roll, you can, like, cancel it with a jump and stuff like that. You know, it's, like, very fluid the way it's set up. But the shield, like, no, you have to stop moving when it's up. You, like, can't change directions while the animation's playing. But yet the roll's animation, you can, like, cancel out of and, you know, do different things. Like, in the middle of a roll, you can do the down jump to, like, jump down a floor. You could do it in the middle of the roll. But you can't do that with the shield mechanic. It's strange. I like using, like, the stuff that you place down on the ground, like turrets and that stuff. I like those as compared to, like, the, just grenade or whatever. I figured I'd stream for a little while before bed, because there's a pretty significant chance it's probably going to snow tonight, or at least by morning there'll be snow on the ground, and if that's the case, I'll have to go to work. But I slept till 6 in the afternoon, so if I get called, I should have enough rest to be able to make it through the night. I say that, though, but depending on how much it snows, I might be at work for, like, 18 hours. We actually got in trouble, our crew, I should say, got in trouble a couple of weeks back because we supposedly had left the job site, like, before we were done, or at least before they were happy with the work. So, that's a thing. And we were there for, 16 hours. We had gone home for a couple hours to get some rest and came back that, next night, and they had the nerve to complain that we had left before we were finished. It's like, we were at that place for 16 hours. What do you mean? Did a failing spilled in every Dark Souls game. Spear shield against every boss possible. That's cool. Yeah, that's how I'd play. Or at least I'd try to play that way. Sometimes you can just blatantly nail it, because, like, the birds have a pretty predictable, thing that they do. I mean, they physically tell you where they're gonna go. The rest of the guys, there's no way to know. You just have to, like... What I find seems to work the best with the shield in this game is, you just have to kind of, like, randomly press it when you think it's gonna land, so you get hit more often than not. Oh, these little training dummies here are so difficult. More than just dodging head. Some fights that required me to two-hand my shield in order to get through. And goodness. I've never played Dark Souls. that's because it's in the same series as Bloodborne. Or, you know, it's a similar concept, maybe different people or whatever, but it's a very similar game in a lot of areas, and that game is just too hard. And that's what I feel like Dark Souls would be. It would just be too hard. And like this game, the difficulty is at a point to where it's like, it's not fun. And I've watched people play Dark Souls, and I'm just like, there's no way I could play this game. It is too hard and too frustrating. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's all relative. Each person probably experiences it considerably different. But I have anger issues, or can have anger issues, and I feel like playing a game that's hard like that is going to make me punch my screen. And I spend a lot of money on this stuff, so I don't want to break anything. Of course, I have outgrown a lot of that, so, you know, maybe I'm just, again, one of those things I remember, and it's not true anymore. Because a long time ago, when I would play EverQuest, I would punch the computer, like, out of anger. I've broken many keyboards directly over my knee, just snapped them. Right over my knee. Out of anger. But that's when I was also, like, addicted to EverQuest to the point where, like, I could have probably maybe have died. So. Luckily, though, I understand that that's a thing nowadays. You know, medical improvements and research and whatnot have shown, you know, that addiction's like a thing and whatnot. So now that we know about it, it's a lot easier to call yourself out on it. Because obviously the easiest person to fool on anything's yourself, so. But once you realize that your, you know, like a particular thing applies to you, it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, make adjustments in your life to sort of address that. So gaming addiction was a thing back then for me. So, but I still play a lot of games, but now it's not like, it's not an addiction where, like, you know, I'm not able to pay my bills and stuff so that I can play the game. There was a time where paying for the game was way more important than paying, like, rent and stuff. And food and drink and whatnot, so. Of course, I was only 20 years old or something like that, you know, so. One of those things where maybe you shouldn't join the military directly out of high school. You know, before you experience any kind of life outside of the highly curtailed life that your parents try to lay out for you. You know, if you try to, like, hold on to that kind of lifestyle, it could lead to, like, the unfortunate thing where you're, like, experiencing something for the first time that's so different from what you're used to that you end up, like, head over heels for it. And that's kind of what happened with EverQuest for me. Plus, I'm socially awkward. Right? Right? You don't need any more. And they stack up to in stacks of, what, up to 1,000 for the water flasks now. So you can just buy 1,000 and, like, you're good for water for, like, a long time. Does that upgrade that meat grinder? Yeah, a little bit. 30% on a bleeding target, though. So our blood shield's got him bleeding. So we're not really doing much in the way of bleeding, which is kind of what the spear was supposed to do. Can I have 2 meat grinders? Let's see how that works out. Alright, let's get right here. I like the spear because I feel kind of like a bee. Like a bumblebee. You could just, like, sting people, like shield, shield, shield type thing, and then, like, occasionally a sting. Hell no, I am not using that chest. So you get lucky and like hit the bird like that, or the bat or whatever that thing is, and you end up like causing everything on the screen to bleed, which is cool. That makes me want to use it. This shield is why I started trying to use this shield in the first place. The whole, like, making everything on the screen bleed I thought was really cool. Oh, great, I'm elite. So the elites attack like twice as fast as the non-elite version. Messes the timing of the shield way up. They also attack faster than the that little animation cooldown of the shield. So there is no way to consecutively block or parry, if you will, because of that little cooldown that they have. So those guys attack frequently enough that you will always get hit if you tried to just block. You're just trying to go a strong parry build. At least I got the shield and thing up right at the beginning. That's cool. So every time I play where I use rolling as my main defense, I seem to do pretty well. But if I try to use the shield at all, I get wrecked. See, I was trying to jump up there because I knew he was going to go. So this probably just goes to a hidden area for bomb. A grenade! Heavy grenade, just... Come on. Do they have the little Batman symbol if you played any of that Batman at Arkham Asylum or whatever those games were? They do the little, like, you know, I think triangle is what they usually would pop up above their head or whatever, or square. So you would have to basically push that button to defend against that attack. Yeah, we're gonna keep the blood shield. But it's similar to that with the exclamation point. Basically, they're just telling you they're about to attack. Some of them, the exclamation point pops up kind of right away. Like, as soon as it pops up, that's the attack. Sometimes it'll pop up, and then the attack will happen. So, it's a little wonky, because, like, you would think that, like, once you saw the exclamation, the attack's coming, so you would need to defend. But sometimes you'll defend, and that delay that they have will then hit you, because, like, you're not supposed to do it right when it pops up, but a second after it pops up. So I wonder if that's by design. Because sometimes the enemies, their telegraphing, or whatever you will, is a little bit hard to read. Because some attack right away, but others, you know, this one's really cool. I like this secondary item. So let's just go ahead and deal more damage. Yeah, when it's like one enemy to deal with, the shield's pretty good. It's just when there's like several enemies on the screen, you need to go like basically purely off offense. So hitting the shield guy can basically stun you, and that's what happened there. So I hit the shield guy because of the range on the spear, and it stunned me, and then I took a hit from that guy because I didn't throw the shield for some reason. Yeah, those guys are a prime example. The little exclamation point pops above their head, then they do their little, like, rear back thing, and then they jump. So it's not like the exclamation point, then they jump. So a lot of times you'll see the exclamation point, you'll fire off your shield to try and block them, and then they'll hit you because there's a delay in their thing. Whereas the shield guys, like, will pretty much charge, like, yeah, like, as soon as you see the little exclamation point. Those guys, well, I guess the exclamation point comes after the little rear back thing. Maybe it's because they're, you know, lunging a distance towards you that it feels delayed. Because they're close to you, and see, like, watch. You see, like, as soon as the exclamation point popped up there, I was able to shield it because there was no distance that he had to go. So I think that's what's happening is... Ooh, I got lucky with the bounce on that. Yep. Tried to hit him with the model. I gotta... That's new, so I'm not used to it. The little wave that pops out. That little blue, like, pulse that comes out. That wasn't there before. It's there now. That's what you're trying to hit the enemy with when you're parrying. Not the actual, like, shield-like graphic. So is this a time door is what's here? Oh, it's a store. Nothing I want there. I think that was everything. Alright, we'll go to the next area. Yeah. So that's something I'll have to fix after the stream. I need to make it so that Dead Cells plays in an actual window and not a full screen window. When it's full screen, because I don't know if it's because it's using the controller or what, but yeah, like, I can't get my mouse to let go without, like, popping up a menu or something, even though the mouse is right here. But as soon as I try to go onto the other screen, the mouse, it's, like, not there. So, that's something I'll have to fix. Did I not spin them? Oh, I got 5 more on. There. Get our health flask and our gold recovery both under 100. So we'll get our health regen thing, which is kind of terrible. 2 hit points for killing an enemy. That's not going to save you from anything. I mean, if you went a really long time without getting hit, maybe after a full level you might recover your whole health bar, but I wish they had some more Diablo-like features, like maybe life on hit, or maybe just like health over time or something like that. Of course, you could scam that just by standing in one spot till you're full life. So maybe like a health on, maybe strictly stay on life on hit or something like that. Time door. Never gonna get time doors. You have to just skip, like, basically all the content if you want to get the time doors. Which is funny, because that's, like, by design. Like, they designed the game that way. The game's designed with an intention of you skipping stuff, or trying to hurry through it. Not sure if there's a better way of doing that, though, so... Again, I'm just complaining to hear myself complain, I guess. Gonna be full of monsters. Sometimes these chests are full of monsters. Or it'll just be full of heavy grenade. Upgrade the old one. Yeah, somebody was saying the test server was having some issues. So, I don't know if playing EverQuest was going to be on the agenda for tonight or not. Yeah, I want to use the shield so bad. It just doesn't work when you, like, how you think it would work. That health does add up a little. Because I feel like I've taken a lot more damage than what my health is representing, so... So here's something that I noticed too. It says plus 3 HP when you kill an enemy. So my mutation gives me, what was it, plus 2, so it should be plus 5? Or does it go to plus 3? Because according to this, it says plus 3. So by picking that mutation, I increased my hit point on kill by 1. That's I don't know, that's not very good. Maybe it's because there's not enough content right now, because I think you can make it to the end of the game pretty quickly. I can't sell it right now. Play an early access game and then do nothing but complain about it. Right? Overall, I enjoy the game. I think they're, for what it is and for the how long they've been working on it and whatnot, I think it's relatively well polished, so... For the most part, it plays really well. It's just still, you know, a little wonky here and there. I don't like that frame rate drop, though. So it's plus 1 to that number, is what's happening. Every time you do survival, you get plus 1 to that mutation, I think is what's happening. And again, I'm not using the secondary items. This goes where? Don't know what happened there. I definitely pushed circle. Yeah, I really gotta start using those things. Probably one of the reasons I'm not doing very good. It's like, I'm only gonna play by jumping. It's like, that's not gonna get you very far. don't like it. I don't like how sometimes you don't put the shield up. I don't understand it. Forgot it throws a bomb out. Yeah, that's what it is right now. It's just way easier to roll. Just roll past them. That's way easier than to try and block or do anything weird like that. It's just easier just to dodge them. Nope. Not interested in any of that. Oops. Last 3 times I made it to the first boss, I got killed by him. Yep. Get him down to his the last phase that he does. I don't like the fact that those guys can shoot you from off the screen. Like, even the birds can, like, go through the walls and stuff, so that's a little... Just keeping it balanced, I guess. I'm not doing much in the way of, like, physical damage. Holy smokes. So I have to go down and around to get to that guy, I guess? Yeah, this... I can't go there. Don't have the rune for that yet. The similarity between the platforming and whatnot of this and, like, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is so great. There we go. Give me that food. Go. Like, when I push the input, I expect the input to, like, happen. But for some reason, it just doesn't sometimes. It's because I know what's causing it. It's because certain animations you can't cancel. So, like, if you're in the middle of, like, that animation, there's nothing you can do. So if I do it and jump right away, oh, you can do it. So it looks like attacking, like, with your generic stuff is cancelable, but the shield parry, yeah, you can't do anything when you're parrying. No jumping, no rolling. Yeah, it rolls after. That's weird. I don't like that. That's... You need to be able to cancel the effect. That would help the shield a lot, I think. Because what's happening is you're fully committing to it. So if you timed it too early, you're just SOL. You should be able to, like, maybe... you should just be able to roll out of it or move out of it or something. There should be something you can do to cancel the animation for the parry. I feel like that right there would help the shield a lot. Just like how you can roll out of your, melee animation, you should be able to roll out of the shield animation as well. Like, when that parry's going, you should be able to turn your character around and parry the other direction. just by hitting that way. Because, like, sometimes a guy will walk up behind you, do his exclamation point at the same time, an arrow's coming towards you this way. Sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm going to take the arrow and block that guy. You can turn around and block that guy, but if you try to block the shield first, there's no way you're going to turn around in time. Especially with there being that 2-second cooldown. So we have enough to push both these down by 10. We keep them even and put the other 7 into something else. We can unlock the ice bow. Last 5 can go into, I guess, this or the oiled sword. All damage taken minus 5%. First shot pierced the target. So it was 3 by default. So yeah, it's +1 each time you do survival. So we'll do a cooldown reduction. So you don't have a heavy attack or anything, so you can't like push and hold the square. So they could do combos, like you could do like, you know, tap square twice and then the third one's like a longer hold. And that would generate like maybe a different, maybe you could like do a swirl the blade around, or maybe like charging moves where you could press and hold it and then let it go and then, you know, go into another combo. But again, early access, maybe that's coming. I've never read anything on the dev diaries or anything like that for this, so I have no idea what's coming, what's supposed to be coming. I just know that I throw the shield way too early. Not doing enough physical damage right now. So that means the red number needs to go up more. See, the secondary items actually attract the melee attention of the monsters. So, like, oh, I walked right into that. And that one. That was actually a pretty decent little clear there. So I'm going to pick the strength one. I want my brutality up some. I need to be able to kill these guys in like a lot fewer hits. So I'm still only hitting for like critical for 69 points of damage. They hit me for over 100, so... If I could block one of these dudes. To get everything on the screen bleeding. There we go, that worked out pretty well. That's really another thing that I've been doing wrong. Like, I'm not using those secondary abilities near enough. Firebrands. They're useful. I like using them, but they're, I don't know. Takes a long time to really get them, like, chucking them out there. Like, it takes a while. It's a pretty slow weapon. Which is crazy, because you got this huge spear that seems to be fairly quick. But the torches, I don't know, they're... That didn't work out. Time door, no way. I'd have to skip everything in order to make the time door. I guess the time doors have a bunch of cells and stuff in them, which is sort of like the whole point of this run was to try and get cells, but... Yep. Not happening. Sometimes, oof, I forgot that's not a, I didn't want to go there. Sometimes the combos you can pull off and like the blocking with the shield and all that stuff, sometimes it ends up working out so beautifully. But other times it's just like, ugh, dude, I just got wrecked. Yeah, see, he was actually attacking the thingamajig, the little turret. So, can I jump out that way? I hope so. Yeah, there definitely looks like there's something out there. A little, overshot it. Oops. So again, we're going to go with brutality. I want my weapon to hit a little harder. So we're considerably unbalanced right now in favor of brutality, so... So it looks like the turret that causes bleeding because of my shield maybe makes everything on the screen bleed? I like the changes to this. They made it so that these charms aren't like just randomly laying around the levels. They almost exclusively come from elites, and they like boosted them in that the power that they give you. So they're really, really good now. Look at that. 10%, minus 10% all damage, survivals +1. You get gold when dead cells. Or you get gold from dead cells. Poison enemies that hurt you. It's freaking amazing. Yeah, that right there is a really good change. Try to block him, and that's what you get. They hit you at the same time you push the shield button. They get their hit, but you don't get even the animation for the shield, so I don't know. It's just, you don't even get your input. These guys are so hard to block, I think. don't know why those guys are so hard for me to block. Those are really the guys that I was talking about that they basically sandbag. So they do their little exclamation point, and then they have like a rear back thing, and then they go like super fast. So it's like you've already thrown your shield to parry, but like they're not actually attacking yet. So it's very tricky on those guys. What's happening. Anytime something bleeds, it affects the entire screen. Ooh, they've taken damage from that poison. I tried to roll, not jump. Another strength. We'll go survival. I'm going to keep our survival and our strength somewhat close. Maybe in favor of strength. So keep strength 1 or 2 higher than survivability, and we'll see how that goes. Well, I made it to the boss finally. Too bad I don't have a better secondary than that bomb. So finish exploring the map, see if we can get anything. That all she wrote? Looks like it. Look at all this money I missed. Oh. So we're gonna go to the boss. Cash in our cells. See if I can actually beat him this time. Last 3 times I got killed by him. So we'll see how this goes. 41 cells this time, huh? We'll knock each one down by 10 again. Actually, is there anything? You can unlock the oil sword. We'll just pump everything back into these guys here. We'll knock this guy down by 10, and then the rest into at least to a nice round number. At one point, it doesn't really matter where it goes. Buys flammable oil, 2 victims, damage 50%, 30% damage on bleeding targets. Sort of the same attack as the blood sword. Guess we'll get about 70 damage for 2 seconds after killing an enemy. Alright, boss time. Here we go. Let's see if all that work goes to pot. Oh, it's tanking it. He's kind of easy to shield against. Oh, I can't really... Oh, yeah, he's jumping now. Okay. So now we're on the spot where you, as soon as you jump, he jumps. When he's at this stage, all you have to do is just basically trick him. You provoke him to jump. Of course, I tank him in the face. See, then you roll the wrong way. Aha, see, I'm trying to get him to melee so I can parry it, but I'm gonna end up getting myself killed because I'm trying to be fancy with them, I guess. I want to roll. I'm gonna get him this time. Maybe not. Definitely should wait to talk before I... Yep. Whew. Okay. Well, that was good. I know his pattern, but I don't know, I kept walking into him and stuff, so... Oh, what's going on here? Hey, crawler. Kind of small. Made it here alive, though. Alive? That's one way of looking at things. I'm the blacksmith. So he's the collector fellow, huh? So this is the first time I'm seeing this menu. Bonus quality level 2. Best view all close. Hide obsolete entries. Weird, it doesn't actually say anything. It doesn't say what exactly you're doing, so this must be the they separated out the unlocking and the plus damage into two different menus, because before you would spend your cells to unlock, say, the blood shield, and when you came out of the menu the blood shield would, you know, pop out on the ground and you'd be able to pick it up. Part of that system was this one too, I think, so this is that like plus 5% damage or whatever. So does that mean that the collector dude... Okay, so you have to unlock all the stuff that you want, and then when you're done with that, maybe upgrade the stuff, or maybe upgrade a couple of the things that you're kind of focused on using, maybe? Or like a build around that? Seven more cells we can throw into, like... I guess we can throw it into the stuff over here. Put it into the spear. Actually, we'll throw it into the shield. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry that took a little longer than I anticipated. I didn't realize what time of night it was. I had to feed my goldfish real quick. I take especially good care of my goldfish, so you would maybe ask yourself or tell yourself, like, why would it have taken so long to feed his goldfish? Don't you just grab a couple, like a pinch or whatever of the pellets and stick it in there? But no. Nope, that's not the case. I actually prepare food for my goldfish. Huh, weird. You've reached the maximum number of mutations, so you can only have 3, huh? I don't like this system. It doesn't matter which one you get, because you end up with all 3 of them anyway. So realistically, you should just... like there's no levels in the game, so this system here is like what you would get when you leveled up. So like you got level 2, you would get, like, you know, this one. You got to level 3, you would get this one. You get to level 4, you would get this one. But yeah, you end up with all 3 and that's the max you can have. Then what's the point of resetting it? Like, I mean, I guess... yeah, I guess, like, if you know, were using a, not a shield and didn't want this one, you could do this one instead, so then you would have to do this, so that you could get that one instead. I don't know. That's new, though, so... definitely don't think that that's like an example of what it's going to be like in the, you know, when the game launches for real. Because like I said, that little system there's a new addition. So maybe that's not quite exactly how they wanted it. What's down here? Apparently got to use the wall run jump thingamajiggy, but can I see what's down there? Lumbering Sanctuary, huh? Huh. Never been there. Oh, it's the fog fjord. Every time I come here, I get wrecked. So we'll see how hard this is. So you can't... sweet Jesus. What are those guys? Okay, so the enemies in this are different than I remember. I wonder if they, if it's just the models. But that little weird-looking mouth head guy, he looks different. I don't remember him before. Oh, the time door. Well, it's cool that it tells you, like, before you come in that that's what you're going into. See right there? That's cool. Ooh, man, this is so hard. Looking for... I don't know what's going on there, but it makes me feel like I cannot roll through the bomb. I don't know if that's what's actually happening or not. That just once it's, yeah, you can roll through it, it blows up really, really quickly. Okay, that's it. I don't like this game anymore. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna play a different game. This game's too dumb.